Behold, I will send my messenger, and he shall prepare the way before me. And the Lord, whom you seek, shall suddenly come to his temple, even the messenger of the covenant, whom you delight in. Behold, he shall come, says the Lord of hosts. But who may abide the day of his coming? And who shall stand when he appeareth? For he is like a refiner's fire, and like fuller's soap. And he shall sit as a refiner and purifier of silver. And he shall purify the sons of Levi, and purge them as gold and silver, that they may offer unto the Lord an offering in righteousness.
All right, let's let this let me see. So here the comments part. Shalom, shalom. I think I gotta unmute you too. I think I can unmute you. Oh no, it should stay like that, huh?
Yeah.
What's up, family? Shalom. We're trying a new audio. Let us know if you can hear this, if it's sounding good, if it's sounding clear. Yep. Sounds good though.
That's still right.
Yeah.
Shalom, family.
This guy's just gonna be whispering in the.
What's going on?
All right, man. Brothers, like, share, and subscribe the video. Like, share, and subscribe, and give it a little bit more before we get started. All right, man. Shalom, family. Shalom. Let's see what this. Let's see if the visuals clear up a little bit. Can you see how it looks like on your guys' end on the YouTube? It's both of them.
Yeah.
You see? I don't know what's going on with that, man, but it will do. This is the GTA 6 countdown. Lock in, Shannon. All right, man. Let's go.
This is not the GTA 6 countdown. Because we're going to be dead before it comes out.
All right, man. So first and foremost, I want to give all praises, all honor, all glory to the Most High God, Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahushai. We are your brothers here at the Refiners, right? Trying to uplift and sharpen and refine our people to be made into something that can be acceptable and useful to the Most High God, right? Whose name is Yahweh. This lesson is called pruning, right? And it's something that, all right, you guys are part of the, here, check this out. What you need to do, Shannon, is just kick back for a bit. All right.
Listen and find out.
So something that is needed for our people, because people think, right, just knowing that you're an Israelite, right, and who we would consider to be the Black, Latino, Native Americans, like how Shannon here was just saying, are you guys the Black Hebrew Israelites? Do we look black to you? Right. But and this is the thing, we don't go around saying, oh, what about those white Israelites over there in the land? No, you just refer to them as the Jews, right? But somehow, some way, we are, bro.
I got you.
Yeah, we are considered just the black Hebrew Israelites, right? No, we are the Israelites. But something needs to happen in starting off with this is checking yourself, right? Examining yourselves. So let's get that in Ezekiel 31 and 1.
We're going to do it because
Mm-hmm.
So this is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 31 from the top. And it came to pass in the 11th year, in the 3rd month, in the 1st day of the month, that the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, speak unto Pharaoh, king of Egypt, and to his multitude, whom art thou like in thy greatness?
So first of all, right, it's focusing on the Pharaoh, the king of Egypt, right? The whole context is talking about men here, right? Pharaoh, king of Egypt, is the subject principally who this whole chapter is addressing, right? Go verse 3.
Verse 3, behold, the Assyrian was a cedar in Lebanon, with fair branches, and with a shadowing shroud,
Mhm.
a shadowing shroud, and of an higher stature, and his top was among the thick boughs.
The thick bows,
Bows.
right?
How's it tough?
So the Assyrian was a cedar in Lebanon, right? It says the Assyrian was a cedar. Of course, we understand Assyrians are a nation of people, right? This is not a type of tree. The Assyrian is referenced as a cedar tree, right? And it says it has a big shroud. It's a high stature. It's a beautiful looking tree, right? So now let's see verse 8.
All right, verse 8. The cedars in the garden of God could not hide him.
So now it's saying the other cedars, right? These other trees, right, couldn't hide this particular tree, this particular nation, the Assyrians, right? Go ahead.
The fir trees were not like his boughs.
So now the other nation, the fir trees, right, which obviously aren't cedar trees, and what else?
And the chestnut trees were not like his branches.
So now it's not just the fir trees. Now it's not just the chestnuts. Now it's not just the other cedar trees. What?
So that all the trees of Eden that were in the garden of God envied him.
So this is a key point on here, right? It's saying that these trees envied this other tree, right? But how do we reconcile this? How do you make sense of this? Right? Get verse 18. Because I also like it, because obviously we know that trees don't envy other trees, right? This is all speaking metaphorically. This is all an allegory, right? Verse 18.
Right, verse 18. To whom art thou thus like in glory and in greatness among the trees of Eden?
So now he's asking him, so who is like you in this whole Garden of Eden, right? Go ahead.
Yet shalt thou be brought down with the trees of Eden unto the nether parts of the earth.
Mm-hmm.
Thou shalt lie in the midst of the uncircumcised with them that be slain by the sword.
So now he's telling Pharaoh, right, you're going to come down and be like everybody else. Of course, we understand in history, Egypt was this big, huge nation, right? Flourishing, right? It had, obviously, they had enough resources to have like the Israelites in captivity and still be able to flourish as themselves. So they were huge at one point, right? Egypt was a huge society. But then it says you're going to be brought down and be like everybody else. What's the last part say right there?
It says, this is Pharaoh and all his multitude, saith the Lord God.
So this is Pharaoh, right? This tree, this garden, this tree in the garden of God is Pharaoh, right? So shalom, everybody, shalom. Because I know we won't probably touch on this subject in the future. So here's a gem for you guys, right? Talking about the Garden of Eden and things that you could look for in scriptures and understanding the first couple chapters of Genesis being allegories, right? So Genesis 3:23.
This is the book of Genesis, chapter 3 and verse 23. Therefore the Lord God sent him forth from the Garden of Eden to till the ground from whence he was taken.
So he sent Adam out, right? Go ahead.
So he drove out the man, and he placed at the east of the Garden of Eden cherubims.
He placed what?
Cherubims.
These are angels, right? He placed a cherubim at the east of the garden, right? Go ahead.
And a flaming sword, which turned every way to keep the way of the tree of life.
So if we're saying the trees symbolize nations, but the Most High put an cherubim at the front of the garden, right, to protect it, to make sure that Adam doesn't come back. What is this cherubim then, right? It has to be something, right? It has to, if we're saying this is an allegory, this has to symbolize something. So let's see what it symbolizes, right? This is Ezekiel 28:12.
This is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 28 and verse 12. Son of man, take thee a lamentation upon the king of Tyrus.
The king of who?
Tyrus.
So this is a Hamite. What is he saying to this Hamite?
And say unto him, thus saith the Lord God, thou sealest up the sum full of wisdom and perfect in beauty. Thou hast been in Eden, the garden of God.
So why is God telling this Hamite that he's been in the Garden of Eden? Go ahead.
Every precious stone was thy covering, the sardius, topaz, and the diamond, the beryl, the onyx, and the jasper, the sapphire, the emerald, and the carbuncle.
You can just skip to 14.
Gold. Right, verse 14.
This is the point right here. Go ahead.
Thou art anointed.
Thou art the anointed.
Thou art the anointed cherub that covereth.
So he's telling this Hamite, you are this cherubim. Go ahead.
And I have set thee so. Thou wast upon thy holy mountain of God. Thou hast walked up and down in the midst of the stones of fire.
So why does it matter bringing up that Tyrus is this Hamite nation, right? And they are placed at the Garden of Eden because these are the people that we had to overcome. We had to overcome the Hamites, the Canaanites. These were the ones that were holding that land so that Adam, which represents the Israelites in this sense, wasn't able to go back. So when we do go back, we had to war with these other people. It says he was placed at the front with a lahat, with a flaming sword, right? So this is why we understand that the trees in the garden are nations, and the story of creation in Genesis 1 and a couple chapters after that are allegories, right? So we see Pharaoh is compared to a tree in the garden, and now he's told that he's going to fall and be made like everyone else, be brought down to the floor, right? So just to establish that trees in the Bible symbolize people, symbolize nations. So Matthew 7:15.
It's the book of Matthew, chapter 7 and verse 15. Beware of false prophets, which come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly they are ravening wolves.
Mm-hmm.
Ye shall know them by their fruits.
Right. So in context, we see Christ referring to false prophets. He says that they come looking like they're benevolent, right? Looking like they're good, but inwardly, in their inward parts, they are trying to destroy. They mean ill towards you and everyone else, right? So just how the captain right here, Dakar, brought out a few classes ago, things done in secret will show up in your spirit. These wicked people, right, won't be able to hide their fruits. The things they sow will be right in front of your face. Right? You ever look at someone and you just go, bro, you're so full of it. As soon as you start talking, I just understand, bro, you are lying. You're lying to my face. Like you see right through them, right? Their actions, the things they produce, scream wicked. It screams sin, right? 1 Corinthians 2:14.
This is the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 2 and verse 14. But the natural man receiveth not the things of the Spirit of God, for they are foolishness unto him.
And what?
Neither can he know them, because they are spiritually discerned.
Right. So their spirit does not bear witness with your spirit, right? And you, on the contrary, not being just a natural man, but a spiritual man, right? You walk in the spirit, the natural way, the animal instinct is foolishness to you on the flip side, right? Because you yourself are not spiritually, how could I say, discerned in the fact that, or I should say opposite, right? The things of the world are foolishness to you because you are spiritually discerned, right? And in fact, that's all you see through the spirit, right? So you can see their dirty, moldy fruits. You see the deeper meaning of why things need to be done a certain way, right? The benefits that come with doing things with a pure heart instead of just doing things just because, right? You have something? Yeah, just speak up.
This is Proverbs 10:16. The labor of the righteous tendeth to life, the fruit of the wicked to sin.
Right, exactly. See, the things that a righteous person should be doing should be bringing life. And when you go into that word life in the Hebrew, hayah, it literally goes back to meaning prosperity. Everything that you do is going to be good for you. But of course, a wicked person is going to bring death, right? You have something else?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Proverbs 11:30. The fruit of the righteous is a tree of life, and he that winneth souls is wise.
And that's the whole duty of this, right? Win some souls. I'm not out here trying to, and this is the difference, trying to debate people just to debate instead of building up, right? Like, for example, if we could just boot Shannon out of this, because this is a thing, bro. We are literally trying to uplift our people, get our people to be pruned, get our people to be better. Here comes the damn devil in here talking about you guys are the black Hebrew Israelites, white slaves, bro. Get that out of here, right? You are trying to sow discord in something when we're trying to produce life to our people, and here you come trying to be negative with stuff, bringing something that has nothing to do with the topic at hand, right? So let's get Matthew 7:16.
It's the book of Matthew chapter 7 and 16 from the top. Ye shall know them by their fruits. Do men gather grapes of thorns or figs of thistles?
Right. So you won't get something that's spiritually good for you from something wicked, right? But once you start being able to recognize things through the spirit, you're more than able to pluck a pomegranate from its branch, right? So for those of you who do not know, I'm sure my brother Dakar knows, he works gardening as well. Pomegranate trees have thorns. You can take and learn from something if you learn how not to get hurt from something and take the benefits from it, right? So Genesis 2:16 to prove that.
This is the book of Genesis chapter 2 and verse 16. And the Lord God commanded the man, saying, of every tree of the garden thou mayest freely eat.
So God, first and foremost, told Adam, you can eat from any garden, any tree in this garden, just not that tree, right? And who do we understand that here at the Refiners, what we teach, that tree was the doctrine that the Canaanites would bring or the Hamites would bring. This is all female or women, how can we put it? Woman worship, right? When you look at the Hamite nations, that's all they did, woman worship, which is why Eve was so easily brought and won over. Yes, this is the one that I want right here. This is the doctrine that fits me. Adam, you eat from this too. Put me at the forefront. That's not how God works, right? So you can learn from other nations, right? How to eat better, how to fish better, how to connect with your environment better, right? How to be patient more. You can talk to like Buddhists and whatnot, how to be nicer, things that other nations can help you with in your own personal life, right? Things they have things that they can offer you so that you can sharpen yourself. Doesn't necessarily mean you're going to go follow their God, but things that they can bring to you that you're like, you know what, that makes sense. I should probably apply that to my life in one way or another. Right? So Matthew 7 and 17.
The book of Matthew, chapter 7 and verse 17. Even so, every good tree bringeth forth good fruit, but a corrupt tree bringeth forth evil fruit.
Right.
Verse 18. A good tree cannot bring forth evil fruit, neither can a corrupt tree bring forth good fruit.
Right. So understanding that there's trees that have thorns, but produce food that you can eat every single day, like lemons and oranges. We know this is a metaphor that isn't used specifically for literal trees. There's a deeper level to it, right? It's about us. It's about men and women, right? A wicked person can't do anything good because their spirit won't allow them to, right? So Ecclesiastes 7 and 13.
Ecclesiastes chapter 7 and verse 13. Consider the work of God, for who can make that straight which he hath made crooked?
Right. So God made the wicked to be wicked, right? And expecting them to be anything else is wishful thinking, right? A corrupt tree will always give you horrible fruit, even if it looks like it's tasty, right? The things inside it are something else. And this is how you can compare it with men and women, right? These fringes don't mean a thing if your soul is wretched, right? Your righteous appearance, but your sinful actions don't mesh together, right? Your spirit is overpowering your appearance, right? And on the contrary, your brother can be rocking hand-me-downs, right? A faded shirt, man, faded fringe shirts that we wear every other day, but trying to walk as the best that we can, right? I can have a broken branch, be in the worst pot of dirt, but I mean well, right? My heart is in it because my soul is in it. And even if there's a tiny fruit, it was made with the intent to praise the Most High, right? You ever, like the car, no, this is what I have written on here. You ever see trees that are messed up, like cut, bro, bent, and it should be dead already, but it's still producing green leaves at the tip of it. You know what I mean?
There's trees that, when they get weathered, you know what I'm saying, they fall completely over, but the roots that are still in the ground still allow the tree to grow.
Exactly. Right. So that tree is hanging on, right? It's producing. The appearance doesn't mean anything. It's about the fruits, right? So one more time with Matthew 7 and 15.
There's the book of Matthew, chapter 7 and verse 15 again. It says, beware of false prophets, which come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly they are ravening wolves. Verse
Let's just go to 19.
Verse 19. Right, every tree that bringeth forth not good fruit is hewn down and cast into the fire.
So every tree that doesn't bring good fruit in is cut down, right, and thrown into the fire. So every person who doesn't produce, who doesn't bring forth or makes use of the talent that God gave him, who doesn't make something from what Christ entrusted him with, will be cut down and thrown into the fire, right? This is Isaiah 9 and 5.
It's the book of Isaiah, chapter 9 and verse 5. For every battle of the warrior is with confused noise, and garments rolled in blood. But this shall be with burning and forever fuel of fire.
Right. So war is clamor sounding, right? It sounds crazy. It's hand-to-hand combat, right? This is back then, right? Your clothes are filled with blood. It says every battle of the warriors with confused noise, bro. All you're hearing is screaming. All you're hearing is yelling. All you're hearing is swords clinging, everything, right? Animals, horses, all this craziness going on, and garments soaked in blood, right? But it says, but this shall be with burning and fuel of fire, right? How is it that this war that's coming up is going to be with fuel of fire, right? We teach, right, that this last war that's going to happen is going to be literally with missiles, right? It calls America the virgin daughter of Babylon. Says that she hasn't been touched by anybody, and it won't be touched by anybody. From what we see through scriptures, there's not going to be a land invasion that comes to America. It's going to be nuked. It's going to be bombed over here. That's how the war is going to end quick, right? I think I had seen something that said that Russia has this program called the ghost hand or the dead hand or something like that. You know what I'm talking about? No? It says, like, for example, if Russia gets bombed, if Russia gets nuked and they're done, they automatically have something that's going to send nukes straight to everywhere else. Like, they're going to bomb everything. They're like, done. If we're done, you're done too. You know what I mean? So America is done for, right? So 2 Peter 3.
There's a book of 2 Peter chapter 3 and verse 10. But the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night, in the which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat.
So what's the melting elements, right? Is it's not gasoline,
Right.
right? Go ahead.
The earth also and the works that are therein shall be burnt up.
Right. Go ahead.
Verse 11. Seeing then that all these things shall be dissolved.
So now that you're understanding that everything's going to be it literally says it's going to burn things down to the elemental level, right? So everything's going to be dissolved. What
manner of persons ought ye to be in all holy conversation and godliness?
So if this is what the end point, and we understand that's the end point, what should you be doing, right? What manner of person ought you to be? And this was the key point to this, is self-reflection, understanding that we are these trees and we need pruning, how it says, right? And we're going to go into that. So let me see. So because we look for this promise, what's it say on 13?
Verse 12.
Oh,
looking for and hastening unto the coming of the day of the God.
So because and this is the thing, right? We see all through social media, right? I've been in this for many years, and you always see, bro, Christ, hurry up and come back. Hurry up and come back. That's not a good thing for most people. That's not a good thing for maybe even the person who posted that, right? That self-reflection of understanding that when that day comes, you need to be on point, right? Let's get that. So you can read 12 one more time.
Verse 12. Looking for and hastening unto the coming of the day of God, wherein the heavens being on fire.
The heavens are on fire. Go ahead.
Shall be dissolved, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat.
Right, you got that?
This is book of Amos, chapter 5, verse 18. It says, woe unto you that desire the day of the Lord.
For what?
To what end is it for you? The day of the Lord is darkness and not light.
And I think the next verse says even very dark, even much darkness, right? But
Let me get that.
Yeah.
Okay. No, darkness and not light. As if a man did flee from a lion, and a bear met him, and went to his house, and leaned his hand against the wall, and a serpent bit him. Shall not the day of the Lord be darkness and not light, even very dark, and no brightness in it?
See, this is how cold it is, bro. You think you're going to be good. Like, for example, like how we just said, that brother saying, well, Christ, hurry up and come back now. You think you're good, right? You're saying you ran away from that bear and you just leaned on the wall, but now a snake bit you. You weren't expecting that, right? In that same manner, I'm sure most of us aren't going to be expecting that day of the Lord to come. It's going to come when you least expect it, of course, right? But making sure that you are on point, right? Because I think most people are asking for something that they're not even ready for, right? So verse 13.
Verse 13. Nevertheless, we, according to his promise, look for new heavens and a new earth, wherein dwelleth righteousness.
And we understand that a new heaven and a new earth isn't talking about there's going to be new stars, new this, and a literal new earth. Psalm says the earth abides forever, right? This is talking about a new governing body, right? This is where Jacob comes in. This is where the supplanter comes in, right? Israel, when Israel is in rulership, that's where righteousness shall dwell, right? Verse 14.
Verse 14. Wherefore, beloved, seeing that ye look for such things.
Because you want these kinds of things, what?
Be diligent.
Be sharp, that what?
That ye may be found of him in peace, without spot and blameless.
So how are you going to be found without spot or blameless when all you grow up hearing is, we all sin, we all fall short? You can't do all that. That's being set up for failure, right? Scripture says you can do all things through Christ who strengthens you. I want to make it, right? That's the mindset that I'm coming with, and the mindset that I want all my brothers and all you sisters in here to have, right? Understanding that that it is doable, right? So that every tree that doesn't bring forth good fruit, good offerings in truth to the Lord will be cast in a fire, will taste that second death, with which we just read, right? And Ashar Shabbat, sister. Hope you're having a good Sabbath. Matthew 7 and 20.
It's the book of Matthew, chapter 7 and verse 20.
Bring it up.
Wherefore by their fruits ye shall know them.
So your own actions will be your witnesses, right? You got to sit back and reflect and analyze yourself, right? Examine yourself. What am I producing? Where am I falling short at? right? We are all vessels of the Lord. If the Lord can use a donkey to make a point, he can use anybody or anything, right? So when someone takes your flaws and puts them in front of your face, you can either get offended and talk back or try to seem like you're perfect, or you can take that constructive criticism and grow, right? Because what does angel mean? It means a messenger, right? Someone's being used as a messenger, right? So the Lord is using men to try to build you, to try to help you, right? Psalms 141 and 5.
Psalms 141 and 5. Let the righteous smite me, it shall be a kindness, and let him reprove me, it shall be an excellent oil, which shall not break my head, for yet my prayer also shall be in their calamities.
Right. So when a righteous person, so when someone's actually looking out for you and gets on you, it's out of kindness, right? Let him reprove you. It says it's going to be like an oil onto you. It's something that should be building you up, right? Something that you should be wanting, right? Because there will come a time where all these things you say, all these things that you do will come back and be your accusers, right? Let's get 2nd Ezra 16.
It's the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 16 and verse 64. Therefore hath the Lord exactly searched out all thy works, and he will put you all to shame. Verse 65. And when your sins are brought forth, ye shall be ashamed before men, and your own sins shall be your accusers in that day.
So this is your faults, the things that you present, your offerings. Were they the best that you could offer the Lord, right? Are you being a good tree or a corrupt tree? Self-reflection is very much needed in this walk, right? And this is just to hammer in the fact that men in the scriptures are referred to as trees. Let's get these two precepts.
This is the book of Mark, chapter 8 and verse 23.
There you go.
And he took the blind man by the hand and led him out of the town. And when he had spit on his eyes and put his hands upon him, he asked him if he saw aught.
So Christ right here is talking to this man, right? And there's a blind man. And what he did, he spit in his hands and rubbed it in his eyes, right? And he asked, can you see out of this now? Can you see anything? And what did the man say?
Verse 24. And he looked up and said, I see men as trees walking.
So this man who Christ let him see something said, he asked him, what do you see? He said, I see men as trees walking, right? And then what happened?
Verse 25. After that, he put his hands again upon his eyes and made him look up, and he was restored and saw every man clearly.
So again, this is all to hammer in parts of the Bible, right? And of course, there's plenty more, right? Where Israel is referred to as trees, right? Or men is referred to as trees. So this is 2nd Ezra 2 and 18. If you could get this one in the GNT. Well, you could read that in the King James.
Oh, I got it right here.
Okay, go ahead. Or just read in the King James first and then do that.
Come on, this is the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 2 and verse 18 in the KJV.
And this is how you, and this is something that you can use, and this is for all you Israelites, right? That I know it looks crazy on here. I know the visual might be ugly, but I hope that you guys are taking everything that we're saying and applying that, right? So this is something that people would say, well, I only stick to the King James. This is something that you can use against them, right? I'm not sure if Lawaz, if we had brought this one up to you before too. I remember this was something that was like when you join, here's some smoke. You know what I mean? So read that.
2nd Ezra, chapter 2 and verse 18. For thy help I will send my servant.
So God is going to send his servants, who?
Esau and Jeremy.
So it says Esau. I will send my servants Esau and Jeremy. So the Lord is using Esau, right? He said, Khan. Yeah, go ahead.
This is the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 2, verse 18 in the GNT. I will send my servants Isaiah and Jeremiah to help you.
Keep on.
At the request, I have consecrated and prepared for you 12 trees.
With what?
Heavy, with different kinds of fruit.
Right, and of course, where it says in the King James, it'll say Esau and Jeremy. And this is a romanticized way of saying Isaiah and Jeremiah, right? A Roman way of saying this. This is reflecting how there's 12 trees. Even though Israel sometimes is referred to as one tree in general, we see that each tribe is being represented by a tree, and each individual tree has its own type of fruit. Each tree is individually different. right? We see, like, for example, in Genesis where it says where Jacob is working for Rachel and Leah's dad, right? He has those different types of goats. Laban, yeah. And he has these different kinds of goats and sheep, and all of his look different, right? It even says Ephraim is as a speckled bird, right? We're all diverse, we're all different. So to say, why isn't everybody black? Why isn't everybody brown? Why isn't everybody light-skinned? That's always how God has used it as a metaphor or allegory symbolizing things for Jacob. Go ahead.
The book of Revelation, chapter 22 and verse 2. In the midst of the street of it, and of either side of the river, was there the tree of life, which bare 12 manner of fruits.
And this is the kingdom of Israel. This is Israel in its totality. Go ahead.
12 manner of fruits, and yielded her fruit every month. And the leaves of the tree were for the healing of the nations.
Or for the healing of the nations. That's why each individual tribe is able to help people in different manners, right? Not every tribe is everybody's just this one thing. No, everybody has their own flavor. Huh? Their own blessings, of course. Right? So this is just that first part. I want to make sure that people are at least following. If you understood where we were getting at with the tree symbolizing people in this, if y'all could just let us know how you guys are feeling so far. All right. I don't know if y'all had questions or anything on just that either. Where can I join? Oh.
Like, share, subscribe.
Yeah, use the DJ voice on there. Huh? All right. Shalom, Nicholas Jacobs. Shalom, Yaquar, man. Hope you're feeling better, OG.
Shalom.
Makes sense. All praise to the Most High. All right, so let's keep going, right? So I remember one time, right? I had got brought into a council. It was a whole, when we were in SF, right? We all had brought into one big council, right? And I was upset more than anything that there was brothers, or I was upset more than anything at the fact that I felt that we were letting BS slide, right? And I was not having it, right? I tried calling brothers out and was like, bro, well, why is this guy here? He don't come to none of the events. He don't come to the high holy days. He's not in the chat. He don't come to camp, right? This guy doesn't even say nothing to us, right? And I'm over here talking this big talk, thinking I'm big stepping, right? And a powerful brother by the name of Tazapanya said on there, right? Shout out to the brother out there. You can't expect you out of everyone, right? And that might be or is for a reason, right? I'm hella extra. I'm hella extreme. I hate average. I'm either all the way in or I don't want to be a part of it, right? And my biggest pet peeves is feeling rushed because I know I could have prepared. Or my second biggest pet peeve is feeling like I'm wasting my time. So I come with that energy, right? I expect others to be the same, to understand that we are in the last days and it's crunch time, right? But not everybody thinks that way. Not everybody feels that way. Sometimes the situation requires calmness, right? It requires gentleness, patience, right? And I really feel I'm not the best at that, right? And I recognize that. And that's why I'm glad that the Lord placed me with brothers who excel in areas that I lack in, right? And it makes me reflect on myself to where I can be like, all right, well, you know what? He handled that situation pretty good. I couldn't have done that. I need to grow in that aspect of it, right? Everybody grows at their own pace, right? Some brothers and some sisters grow slow, right? But bring in one intent-filled fruit rather than a bunch of little fruits that don't mean anything, right? Some trees take years to grow anything. Some need to be in specific climate, be around certain people because it can't grow in other climates and other certain conditions, right? Each tree is different, just how we read in 2nd Ezra as well, right? And each tree is diverse on purpose, right? So let's see Psalms 20 and 7.
So this is the book of Psalms, chapter 20 and verse 7. Some trust in chariots and some in horses, but we will remember the name of the Lord our God.
Right, so some put their trust being around in a circle, right? Being in that garden, being amongst other trees where they can hide their weaknesses, right? Their faults, their rotten fruits, right? Hide behind a signet, hide behind a shirt. But we shelter under the name of Yahweh, right? And that should be everybody's purpose, right? Being able to be used, the way that you present yourself, it'll never be any shame because you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. You won't need to hide behind anything, right? What did David say when they were getting him ready for the war with Goliath, right? Put on this helmet, put on this, put on that. Here's this big old sword. Go handle it. David said, bro, take this all off of me and give me my slingshot, right? The victory is of the Lord, right? He got it, right? And that's the way that I feel everybody should be doing. But in fact, I see probably the opposite in the community. And that's something that I would want to see changed, right? Seeing brothers hiding behind a camp, right? Being like, okay, well, my camp is at the forefront. Meanwhile, I don't have to do anything because they're doing it for me. Bro, at the end of the day, it says the Lord is going to exactly search out all your works, right? Not the refiner's works. Not, I don't want to start listing off camps, but not your camp, right? This is you, your individual walk that you need to be worried about. And of course, it goes for the sisters, right? So John 14:1. Shalom, Brother Quanawath.
Book of John, chapter 14 and verse 1 in the GNT.
Bring it out.
Do not be worried and upset. Yahushua told them.
That's the GNT?
Yeah, it was a GNT.
Try the King James, my bad. I don't know if it was that one.
This is a book of, I'll just read it off.
Yeah.
John chapter 14 and verse 1. Let not your heart be troubled. Ye believe in God, believe also in me.
So first off, he's telling you, don't be troubled, meaning you have faith, you have trust, and you have confidence in Yahweh, right? That he will pull through for you. You say you believe in God, right? If you did, you would believe in his son. And how do we know that, right? It's simple. This is the bread and butter, right? Deuteronomy 18:18.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 18 and verse 18.
Mm-hmm. You're good.
I will raise them up a prophet from among their brethren, like unto thee, and I will put my words in his mouth, and he shall speak unto them all that I shall command him.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 19, and it shall come to pass that whosoever will not hearken unto my words, which he shall speak in my name, I will require it of him.
You see how it doesn't say in that camp who doesn't do this, or that church? Bro, it's whosoever, you individually. This is an individual run, right? So the Lord is checking each one of us to make sure that we are on point. Yatazak, you had some?
Precept.
Go ahead.
Jeremiah 17:10. I, the Lord, search the heart. I try the reins, even to give every man according to his ways and according to the fruit of his doings.
So that's a powerful precept right there, right? According to the fruit of your doings. What kind of tree are you? Right? I'm going to give every single man according to what you have done. I don't care what your leader did. I don't care what your reader brought out, or your precept man, the postman, the cameraman. What did you do? Right? Christ is that prophet, right? So we just got done reading about how he's going to throw trees into the fire. Trees will be cut down, right? And he will require that disbelief from you, right? Matthew 3:7.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 3.
If you get Quar's precept too.
I think I don't know. I'll just go. This is the book of Matthew, chapter 3 and verse 7.
Mm-hmm.
But when he saw many of the Pharisees and Sadducees come to his baptism.
All right, and this is John the Baptist, right? Go ahead.
And he said unto them, O generation of vipers, who hath warned you to flee from the wrath to come?
Shalom, Mr. Carr. Shalom. So again, John is seeing, and contrary to popular belief, it's not Christ who's calling people vipers. It's John the Baptist. All right, let's get Yaquar's precept before we move on.
This is the book of 2 Peter, chapter 1 and verse 10. Wherefore the rather, brethren, give diligence to make your calling and election sure, for if ye do these things, ye shall never fall.
So look at, I don't know what translation you put on there, but it says, so then my friends, try even harder to make God's call and his choice of you a permanent experience.
GNT.
Con, if you do so, you will never abandon your faith.
Yeah, that was GNT.
So that's a great one right
Yeah,
there.
he said it right there. Man, shout out OG, man. Praying for you, Clark.
Con. All right, so let's Matthew 3:7 one more time, brother. So like
Matthew chapter 3 and verse 7. But when he saw many of the Pharisees and Sadducees come to his baptism, he said unto them, O generation of vipers, who hath warned you to flee from the wrath to come?
Right, so these are masters of the law, right? and the Sadducees, right? The Sadducees actually goes back to the word Zadokites, right? You said what again?
No, I said, oh, wow.
Oh yeah, it goes back to Zadokites. So these are the chosen of the Levites, right? It's not just a Levite. It's not just the children of Aaron. It's the children of Zadok, right? So the children of Aaron, the children of Levi, but the chosen of the chosen, right? So John the Baptist calls them out. These are supposed to be higher ranking men up here, right? But John is calling them out, right? Why? Because he has the spiritual lenses on, and he sees their spirit, that they're not coming with good fruit. They're trying to hide amongst the trees in the garden, right? They're coming amongst all the multitude of people, and they're trying to just be there with them. All right, let's get baptized with everybody, right? We're good in here with everybody else. We'll hide between everybody else. But that wasn't enough, because in the end, it's individually what you did, right? So the Pharisees and the Sadducees, for the most part, did not stand with Christ. So we see they didn't have the spirit of acceptance of the Lord, and John calls them out on that. You have something?
Did you guys read 3:10, Matthew?
I'm gonna get there. Yeah, I'm gonna get there. Yeah. Right. So verse 8.
All right, verse 8. It says, bring forth therefore fruits, meet for repentance.
Right. So show your true spirit, showing you are truly born again, showing you truly understand the goal, and others will see you as that light, right? Your aura, your energy, your feel, what people say, your vibration, right, will be felt by everybody. John was able to discern their lies, right? Their fronting, right? Sirach 23 and 19.
If you don't mind, we're getting the NLT.
Yeah, go ahead.
This book of Matthew, chapter 3 and verse 8 in the NLT. Prove by the way you live that you have repented of your sins and turned to God.
Right. And they were trying to be crafty. They were trying to be that snake in the garden. They were trying to be subtle in there, trying to sneak between everybody else. And John is like, bro, you guys, what are y'all doing, bro? Calling them straight up snakes. Right. That's the cool part. They're trying to be crafty, trying to be subtle, right? And I think even when you look at that word in the Hebrew for subtle, for the serpent, it says the snake was more subtle. Yeah, subtle. It goes into meaning crafty. I'm gonna try to sneak in here, and that's what the Pharisees and the Sadducees were doing. Okay. So Sirach 23:19.
This is the book of Sirach, chapter 23 and verse 19. Such a man only feareth the eyes of men, and knoweth not that the eyes of the Lord are 10,000 times brighter than the sun, beholding all the ways of men and considering the most secret parts.
Right. So these Pharisees couldn't even fool John. Right. You think you're really going to fool the Lord? You had something, brother?
Let me get this in the GNT.
Go ahead.
This is book of Sirach, chapter 23, verse 19 in the GNT. These men are only afraid of other people. They don't realize that his eyes of the Lord are 10 times brighter than the sun. He sees everything we do, even when we try to hide it.
Shalom, fam.
Shalom.
Hey, the mic picks up real easy.
John. So again, John over here is trying to fool John. I mean, the Pharisees are trying to fool John, but they couldn't do that. John's over here with a spiritual lens saying, like, bro, what are you doing, you damn snake? Right? You damn viper on here. Right? Verse 9 in Matthew 3.
Verse 9 in Matthew 3. And think not to say within yourselves, we have Abraham to our father. For I say unto you that God is able of those stones to raise up children unto Abraham.
Right. So don't say to yourself, look, we're the Israelites, we're good. Right. Y'all been in this walk way too long to think that's how easy it is. Sounding like those people who walk up to us and be like, well, so just because I'm black, I make it to heaven. Just because I'm Mexican, I'm this and that. If it was that easy, we would not be on the streets trying to show people that they need to lock in. Right. That's the base. That's the start point. Right. And I think there was this one brother, I think it was like Ayathan, who made this great post one time, bro, that it was like, instead of asking what's your ethnicity or what's your father, the starting line should be, how do you praise God? Right. And I think that's something that we can learn from everybody. How it said earlier, right, about the trees, we can eat from every tree. Like, for example, there's a whole bunch of controversy right now in Israel, in the community, with the other camp with Genesis, right, bringing up about the Gentile salvation, Gentile this, Gentile that. What they've really been doing is exposing how some of the brothers really put their race as a cult, right? And I would stand behind that, because there was this one video that they put out to this brother where he told him, and I asked all the brothers in our camp, right, if you found out that you were not an Israelite, would you still praise God? Right? And one brother that not in our camp that was like that, right? But he said, well, what would be the point? He said, I for sure wouldn't. I wouldn't want to be a slave, and I wouldn't want to this. So I for sure wouldn't do that. Look, the Lord deserves praise, right? Don't put your race above everything, right? Of course, we don't teach Gentile salvation, but there is something that you can learn from that to understand that some people's minds are not on the right thing, right? The end all be all isn't, you're an Israelite. The end all be all is praise the Most High, right? Get Ecclesiastes 12:13.
Yeah, because it's many Israelites who gonna get burnt up, man, with that same fire, man.
Yeah.
Exactly. This book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 12 and verse 13. Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear God and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man.
That's the whole duty, bro. That's your whole responsibility. It's not about just being I'm black or I'm Mexican, right? I'm Native American. Bro, that's not the whole duty. That's not the end all be all. Praise the Most High and do his commandments.
Let me read the next one.
Go ahead.
For God shall bring every word into judgment, and with every secret thing, whether ye be good or whether ye be evil.
There you go.
You're gonna get the judgment either way, man.
Shalom. Like the sister says, he deserves that love more than anything or anyone. Exactly. Yes, sir. All praises. All right. So let's get Deuteronomy 10 and 12.
It's the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 10 and verse 12.
Oh, Salakia, right? So this is the base, right? That's the start point, right? You're an Israelite, but then what, right? God can make anyone his child if he wanted to, right? Like, for example, he even threatened to destroy all of Israel when we were in the wilderness and start all over again with Moses. All right, go ahead.
Deuteronomy chapter 10 and verse 12. And now, Israel, what doth the Lord thy God require of thee, but to fear the Lord thy God, to walk in all his ways, and to love him, and to serve the Lord thy God with all thy heart and with all thy soul, to keep the commandments of the Lord and his statutes, which I command thee this day for thy good.
Keep going.
Behold, the heaven and the heaven of heavens is the Lord's thy God, the earth also with all that therein is.
What?
Only the Lord had a delight in thy fathers to love them, and he chose their seed after them, even you above all people, as it is this day.
Here's the conclusion right here of this. What is it?
Verse 16. Circumcise therefore the foreskin of your heart, and be no more stiff-necked.
Right. So it's not just a physical aspect, right? He's not just saying the keep the laws and this. He said that in the beginning, right? The circumcise, that is the physical thing of it. But then it says the foreskin of your heart, right? That's the spiritual side of it. That circumcise your soul, cut off the weaker parts so you can breathe properly, right? Cut off the dead weight so you can finish that run, the marathon, right? So get verse 10 in Matthew 3.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 3 and verse 10. And now also the axe is laid unto the root of the trees.
So now he's cutting down trees, right? Cutting down people. Go ahead.
Therefore, every tree which bringeth forth not good fruit is hewn down and cast into the fire.
So again, we just read what the fire was, right? So now what's your whole duty? To bring forth good fruit as a tree, right? So you don't get cut down, so you don't taste that second death, right? Moses gave us that foundation, right? He lists off in Deuteronomy 10 the commandments. This is the foundation, but it's Christ who gives the fullness of the promise altogether, right? He brings the spiritual side of it, right? You had something? Go ahead.
This is book of Romans, chapter 2, verse 28 through 29. For he is not a Jew, which is one outwardly, neither is that the circumcision, which is of outward flesh.
But what?
But he is a Jew, which is one inwardly, and circumcision is of the heart, in the spirit, and not only in letter, whose praise is not of men, but of God.
Right, and of course, this isn't going into Christians will bring this up and be like, well, see, I'm a Jew inward, I'm a spiritual Jew. The whole context of that literally is talking about Jews who are messing up, right? And the outwardly, and the like I was saying earlier with the fringes, just because you wear fringes doesn't mean that you're accepted of God already. It's the inside part, it's the inward man, right? But again, they all go hand in hand. Can you get Acts 3? Because that was the end of Acts 2, right?
No, that was Romans.
Oh, Romans 2. Get Romans 3. Because as most of you guys know, these letters were not written in books. It wasn't chapter 1, it was just one letter. So if that's the end of chapter 2, what's the very next verse say?
Book of Romans, chapter 3 and verse 1. What advantage then haveth the Jew?
So at first it says the outward doesn't mean anything. But then the very next verse says, so what advantage is there then of being a Jew? What?
Or what profit is there of circumcision?
What?
Much every way, chiefly because of that unto them were committed the oracles of God.
So it matters, or it says it has everything to do with it, because God gave the oracles, God gave the laws to them. All right, so now what's your duty? Bring forth good fruit as a tree, so you don't get cut down, so you don't taste that second death, right? Like I already said, Moses gave us the foundation, but it's Christ who gives the fullness of the promise, right? The other day, Sister Lily, Shalom. The other day I was watching this reel, right? And it was talking about how Moses gave us the outline, right? But it was Joshua who brought us into the land, right? And of course, if you understand, Joshua, Jesus, Yahushai, all the same word, right? So Moses didn't make it in. He had the foundation, but he didn't make it in, right? Joshua brought us in. Yahushai brought us into that land. In that same manner, Moses gave us the foundation, and Yahushai will bring us into the kingdom to possess from the Nile to the Euphrates. Right, Exodus 23 and 20.
So book of Exodus chapter 23 and verse 20. Behold, I send an angel before thee to keep thee in the way and to bring thee into the place which I have prepared.
So, and what is the place, right? It was supposed to be from the Nile to the Euphrates, but we never possessed the whole land. We only had a part of it, right? So what else does it say?
Verse 21. Beware of him and obey his voice. Provoke him not.
So many people will say, well, this was Joshua, right? Joshua took us into there. But it says, beware of him and obey his voice. Provoke him not for what?
Provoke him not, for he will not pardon your transgressions.
When was Joshua ever given the ability to forgive sins? All right, of course we understand that this is Christ, right? Christ can pardon your transgressions, right? It wasn't Joshua. This is how you would cut an OT only on here, right? This is saying obey. They'll say that yeah, that one's good too. So provoke this man not, this angel who's coming. Don't provoke him, because he won't pardon your transgressions. For my name is in him, right? So this is Joshua. This is Yahushai. This is Jesus. It's the same one who will bring you into that place which the Lord shall prepare. Right now, I didn't put it in here, but at the same time, I was saying he's going to bring you into the place where the Lord shall prepare for you. What do we see right now? I had just seen this reel where it's showing the whole land of Gaza, right? It has Israeli snipers standing on the mountaintops, and they're looking at all the rubble down in Gaza, right? And it's all destroyed, because why? The Lord is preparing that land for the Israelites to come back. It literally says there won't be a stone on top of another stone. So if there's whole cities there, how is that fulfilling the prophecy of there? The way it's being fulfilled today, right now, there's literally bombings going on. That whole section of Israel is destroyed right now, because the Gentiles are supposed to rebuild the cities, supposed to rebuild the wastelands, right? You had that?
That's only one. John 5 and 43.
Mm-hmm.
You want that?
No.
Okay, that's all good. Let's get John 14 and 1.
This is the book of John, chapter 14 and verse 1. Let not your heart be troubled. Ye believe in God, believe also in me.
All right, so believe goes back to having confidence, right? To having trust, to be persuaded, right? So it reads, don't be weak, don't be faint-hearted, don't stress, right? Don't worry about this. Have confidence in God and trust in Christ, right? It's two distinct beings that we're told by Christ to believe in, God and him, right? Read that one more time.
This is the book of John, chapter 14 and verse 1. Let not your heart be troubled. Ye believe in God, believe also in me.
Right. So it's not only does Christ tell you, to believe, but there's something else that comes with it, right? And again, this is probably my favorite verse in the whole book. It's so simple, short, to the point, right? Luke 6:46.
Luke 6 and verse 46. And why call ye me Lord, Lord, and do not the things which I say?
Right. So why don't you do what he commands you? Remember that this is the same prophet that the Lord said in Deuteronomy 18:18 was going to speak words of the Lord and hold you to it. Right. And he warns you in scripture over and over and over again. Right. What's he say? Like, if you believed Moses, you would have believed me. Right. In the parable with Lazarus, where the guy's like, well, let me go back and talk to my brothers and my sisters so that they don't come down to this hellfire. What's to say that Abraham told him, bro, I sent the prophets. They didn't even listen to them. Well, who are they going to believe if someone even came up from the dead? They won't even believe the prophets, right? They won't believe the voice of the Lord, right? So let's get see what the brothers say on here. Let's see what Yaquar talking about. All right, he said Joshua leading the children reminds me of Matthew 18:3, and he said, "Truly I tell you, unless you change and become like little children, you will never enter the kingdom of heaven." Yeah, I mean, in that same sense, it's really going back to being born again, right? Dropping everything that you had before and putting it as a new man, right? Being a new branch, right? Which is what we're going to go into. You could just read your precept, brother.
All right. I brought this out yesterday, but it's Zephaniah 2:3 says, "Seek ye the Lord, all ye meek of the earth, which have wrought his judgment. Seek righteousness, seek meekness. It may be ye shall be hid in the day of the Lord's anger."
Go ahead, you can break that down.
Oh, kind of. You said, what'd you say just a couple seconds ago? You said something, bro. Can you repeat what you said like a couple seconds ago before you read the comment? I had a brain fart. That's why I can't remember.
So it says that there's a prophet that we were supposed to believe in. I mean, I don't know, brother. My bad. Yeah.
I was reading something, and I just posted it, and I hella forgot the connection I was making to what you were just saying previously. Right, and a lot of what we can learn from a lot of the prophets is that they were meek, right? Mm-hmm. And ultimately, if we don't want to get pruned out, right, we have to learn to better ourselves and be meek like these prophets: Daniel, Jeremiah, Isaiah, Hosea, Amos. Like, all these people were meek. They paid attention to the Lord. They saw His ways, and that's the only way we can probably hope that we can get away from that hellfire, from that being pruned out.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly. And it goes back to what, like, how Yaquar was just saying right here, being like little children. If we could get that, bro, was that John 3? Being born again? Yeah, good point. The meekness, man.
There was another one. It was I think Yahushua said like learn of me. He said for I'm meek and humble. So you have brought up a verse from Yahushua. I don't know what it was, but basically, like, we're supposed to learn to not get pruned out. We're supposed to learn the footsteps of Christ, what He did, right? What's the mission? And ultimately, He said, "I'm humble and I'm meek," and He said, "Learn of me." So we got to learn these things to not get pruned out, right?
Yeah, and that's the hard part, bro. And that's what it's kind of going into. Well, the last part of this whole lesson is, the pruning, right? Cutting, right? Cutting hurts, right? And it's and even something. The way that I learn, of course, I learn differently from most people. The things that that are gonna stick with me are the things where I hella mess up at. For example, there was one thing where you would join our previous camp. First thing you go into, all right, here's some smoke, bro. Figure this verse out. What do you do with this? And I'm like, bro, I have no idea. Everything I thought I knew just went out the window. I don't know, bro. Teach me. And everything that I stood on, everything that I thought I knew, got cut down. Right. And now I'm like, okay, I'm for sure gonna remember this because I don't want this to happen again. So I remember that cut. Right. And I remember that, that pruning of it. All right. Drop everything else that I knew before. And this is where I started up from moving forward. Right. You got it?
Yeah.
John 3.
I got to. It's book of John, chapter 3, verse 3.
Mm-hmm.
And Yahushua answered and said unto him, "Verily, verily, I say unto thee, except a man be born again, he shall not see the kingdom of God."
Right. Unless you be a babe again. Right. Unless you be a child again. Right. Go ahead.
Do you want on this?
Yeah.
Nicodemus said unto him, "How can a man be born when he is old? He entered the second time into his mother's womb and be born?
Mm-hmm.
Yahushua answered, Verily, verily, I say unto thee, except a man be born of water and of the Spirit, he cannot enter into the kingdom of God.
Right.
But that which is born of the flesh is flesh, and that which is born of the Spirit is spirit.
Right, and that's why we're trying to where I'm going into with the whole pruning thing, right? Cut the fleshly things, cut the things that you thought you were that were benefiting you, and drop that, right? And build on the spirit side of things now, right? We had the foundation, right? You had the law, you had all this standing on that, but you see the Pharisees and the Sadducees falling short either way, even though they were built on that, right? They were born on the flesh side, right? We're Abraham's kids, right? We're good. We're doing everything that the law says to do.
This is what you want.
Huh?
This is what you wanted. To be a little children, humble yourself. Once again.
Yeah, you could just keep reading on there. Yeah.
Oh, this is a different one. Matthew 18.
Just go ahead.
This book of Matthew, chapter 18, verse 3. And he said, Verily I say unto you, except ye be converted and become as little children, ye shall not enter into the kingdom of heaven. Whosoever therefore shall humble himself as a little child, the same is going to be greatest in the kingdom of heaven.
Right. Knock the pride down, bro. And that's what Christ is going to do. He cuts you in ways that only he can do that, right? Where the Most High can do that, right? Where he knows like how we bring it up, bro. He's going to cut you in your weakest parts, right? Hit you and put you in tribulations where he knows you're going to be squirming around, right? To bring you back and you got to be born again. All right, forget all that. I'm going to start all over again. Go ahead, Yatzazak.
Wisdom of Solomon 7:27. And being and being but one, she can do all things. Talking about wisdom, and remaining in herself, she maketh all things new. And in all ages, entering into holy souls, she maketh them friends of God and prophets.
Right, and there you go. And see, and that's the thing, bro. Being born, who is the one in the Bible who is called the friend of God? Y'all remember that? Abraham, right? And he's a faithful. This is what it calls him, Abraham the faithful. There you go. So I know. Catch the replay. Much love, family. Yashawan. Yeah, Bashim Yashai Brakatham. You said what?
For being late, sister, you got 25 push-ups.
All right, now diamond push-ups.
Lock in, sister.
That's a trap star. Still that from the trap star.
Yeah, see. That's why I just show up on the replay too. Either way, go ahead, Yatazak.
This is Sirach 24:19. Come unto me, all ye that desirous of me, and fill yourselves with my fruits. This is James 3:17. But the wisdom that is from above is first pure, then peaceable, gentle, and easy to be entreated, full of mercy and good fruits, without partiality and without hypocrisy.
Right, and that's the thing, bro. Yeah, see, your brothers need to be able to, like I was saying earlier, right? The Lord is going to use people, bless you, brother, is going to use brothers, use anybody to show you where you're falling short. And as long as you're able to see that, you can build from there, right? As long as you don't get upset, as long as you don't get offended, as long as you see it as the Lord doing that for you, right? How the brother was just bringing up, right? This is wisdom doing that. And if you have wisdom, you're going to see how the Lord is trying to shape you, right? You had something?
I was gonna say, like, as far as like if we're, I think it's in Psalms, I want to say 116 or something like that. But if you're following the law and the statutes and commandments, like, you won't be offended at brothers trying to uplift you. Like, you'll be shameless or something like that. Like, you won't feel shame because you know you're being corrected.
Right, and that's the hard part. And I think especially for sure as us as men, right? The pride is a big downfall. Like how I was just saying to you guys, like last class that we had, right? One of my close friends, he lost his father, and I was talking to his cousins while I was over at his house, and he's like, look, bro, he's like health is wealth, right? He's like, but one of the biggest things is pride in men. He's like my best friend's dad passed away from, it was testicular cancer, right? And of course, you as a man, right? You're like, bro, I'm not gonna go to the hospital. I'm not gonna go have another man look at this, look at that, whatever it is. It's pride, bro. If someone would have gone earlier to go check that, he would have been fine. He would have probably been better. I'm not gonna say fine, right? We don't know what the Lord's course is. Hold on, but at the same time, pride is what's gonna keep you at the bottom instead of asking for help. Instead of seeing, bro, am I good? Can you check me out? Examining you, and it's a lot harder for men to do that. Right, which it shouldn't be, because we're supposed to be humble and meek.
Sister and I said, Roger that.
Roger that.
Get to it.
Go ahead, Yazazak.
This is Sirach 10 and 12. The beginning of pride is when one departed from God and his heart is turned away from his maker.
Right, and see, and at the same time, your heart can be turned away, but you should be able to really analyze yourself and know that you turned away if you wanted to come back, right? Because you can sit there and be like, no, I'm good. No matter what I'm doing, I know what I'm doing, right? What the dude say? I don't keep the commandments, but I know God, bro. We have some crazy video coming out, Lord willing, soon. You know, we're at First Friday. We went around talking to brothers, talking to sisters about the 10 Commandments. Of course, nobody knew them, but the cool part is there. I don't know if you saw the live. You brothers that are watching this now, brothers and sisters watching this, right across the street from us were Christian rappers, right? And we went right after camp to go talk with one of the main dudes that was there. And guess what? The main dude talking about God over there didn't know the 10 Commandments, right? Shalom, brother. Brother Alfred G, Proverbs 13 and 10. Only by pride cometh contention, but with the well-advised is wisdom. Khan, there you go. With well-advised is wisdom, man.
In the GNT, it says Proverbs 13 and 10 in the GNT, arrogance causes nothing but trouble. It is wiser to ask for advice.
There you go. And that's the thing with men, bro. It's like it coming down, knocking that pride off of us, bro, and asking for help. Bro, I don't understand this. Something as simple as that, right? I don't understand this. Can you explain this to me? What do you think about this? Knock that off. Knock the prideful stuff off of you and humble down, and we can grow better, right? So if we could get John 14 and 6 now.
This is the book of John, chapter 14, and verse 6. Yahushua saith unto him, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No man cometh unto the Father but by me.
Right, and this, of course, this is another distinction, right, of the Father and Christ. But Christ is the way. He's a path that will lead us into the kingdom, right, how we were just talking about. He showed us the spiritual side of the law that we were missing as a nation, right? Not all of Israel had the faith of Samuel, how, for example, how Gabar was just bringing up, right? Didn't have the meekness of these different prophets, didn't have the faith of Elijah to raise somebody up from the dead, right? The faith of David to stand in front of an 8-foot, 9-foot giant with a slingshot and be like, no, I got this, right? To stand in a lion's den, to know that the Lord will deliver you from their jaws, right? So John 14 and 7.
This book of John, chapter 14 and verse 7. If ye had known me, ye should have known my Father also. And from henceforth ye know him and have seen him.
Right, so if you knew about Christ, you would have believed in the Father. But this is the cool part. Some people claim that they know Christ and hate the words of the Father, right? Oh, that's the Old Testament. Bro, this is the words of God that we're reading right here, right? You don't read, thus saith the Lord in the New Testament, right? I think the closest you can come to it is, this is my son, right, in whom I am well pleased, right? If you had known God, you should have known the Father. But because you think you know Jesus, when in reality you don't, right, you for sure do not know the Father, right? So John 15 and 1.
It's the book of John, chapter 15 and verse 1. I am the true vine, and my Father is the husbandman.
Right, when you read that in another translation, it'll say, my Father is the gardener, right? I'm the real vine, and the Father is the gardener. So Christ claimed out of his own mouth, I'm the real vine. So the gardener does what with the vine?
Verse 2. Every branch.
Hold on, slag it. Oh. He does what with the vine? Whatever he wants to do with the vine, right? He chooses what to cut. He chooses what to let grow, whether to pluck it up or let it be or fertilize it, whatever he wants to do. The choice of what happens to that vine is entirely up to the gardener, right? Verse 2.
Verse 2. Every branch in me that beareth not fruit.
Right, so you can look at it in a agricultural type of way, right? Something different, right? So when there are dead branches that are stemming off of a healthy branch, you snap off the dead part, right? Why? Because it's draining the energy from the other branches, right? You can cut that part from the dead, and guess what? It'll grow healthier from thereafter, right? You had something? Exactly, right? And that's where this is going into, right? There are certain trees that take years to grow fruit. Some of them don't even grow fruit. right? For example, we had this huge avocado tree when I was growing up, right? And it just wouldn't give us avocados, right? So my dad, being Mexican and being a gardener, right? He goes to the tree and he starts whipping it. Literally takes off a belt, bro, and starts whipping the trunk out of it, right? I don't know, bro. And how they say in Spanish, "Pa que lo caliente." What does that mean? To warm it up, to heat it up, to get it going, right? And he stuck a nail in the trunk of it, right? Huh?
I've heard about that.
Yeah,
Now whipping it.
that's what they say, to like heat it up, right? He chastened this tree, right? He put it through the fire to see if it was gonna bring forth fruit, right? And guess what? It did, right? In the Spanish, it was saying it's making it hot, it's activating this tree, right? So John 15:2.
If I can make a point too.
Oh yeah,
real
go
quick,
ahead, bro.
So even with trees, like for instance, like lemon trees or orange trees, certain lemon trees, they'll grow a different distinct branch that has thorns on it, and that fruit is more bitter. When you see those branches with the thorns on it, you're actually supposed to cut those off of the tree, because it'll eventually take over the tree, and then the fruit will no longer be sweet. It'll all be bitter fruit.
For real? See, I didn't know that. See, you taught me something. Most lemon trees I seen, bro, are just all thorns.
I've had some bitter lemons, man.
Mine has other ones.
Yeah.
The lemons are fine though. They be fire.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Some bitter.
corrupt tree, brother.
He's used to the bad
Yeah,
fruit.
he's used to the bad
It's like, it's bad fruit. It's delicious.
It's fine by me.
I didn't know that, bro.
Hey, that tree, that vine could be a weapon.
It's just my type of food.
Right. So let me see. Verse 2, right? John 15:2.
This book of John, chapter 15 and verse 2. Every branch in me that beareth not fruit, he taketh away, and every branch that beareth fruit, he purgeth it.
So
That
right there for that word for purges, it says prune in another translation. He prunes this branch. Right. Go ahead.
And it may bring forth more fruit.
Right. So it may bring forth more fruit, like how Yatazak was saying. Right. So pruning is required in gardening. Right. It's not only when the plant is unhealthy, it's to keep it healthy. Right. You shape it in the manner of tree that you want it to be at. You keep it to the structure you want it to be at. In the same manner, a great foundation will keep a house from blowing away in a storm. Right. A good pruned tree can withstand any storm, but a tree that hasn't been pruned, any strong rain or gust will snap off parts of that tree wherever it's weak at. And again, from the very beginning, nations, people are trees. Right. So once
Can I
the
say something?
yeah, go ahead, bro.
Yeah, bro. So that I was just thinking about that because, like, say we're men are referenced as trees in the Bible, right? So, like, for example, for his avocado tree, it's been like years and it wasn't bearing any fruit, right? That tends to be us in this walk, man. You got to be careful to analyze yourself throughout this, right? You could be an idle tree, not doing nothing, just being there, right, and not producing fruit, right? Or you're producing bad fruit, right? But if you're not producing fruit, you might get that belt, like warming it up, as he said, right?
Yeah.
You might get that belt on you, that chastisement. But you got to be careful not to fall. You need to produce that fruit, man. Right? You need to be able to persevere and make it through it and come out with something to show. All right.
And see, and that's the cool part. How we were saying, like earlier, like for example, in the garden, right? If there's one avocado, if there's a whole field of avocado trees and one avocado tree ain't producing, you won't be able to tell, right? But the person who's walking through it, the gardener's gonna be like, bro, this tree ain't been doing anything. But to the eye, to everything else, you're gonna be able, everyone's gonna be like, huh?
It's a whole lot of
Yeah, look, everybody's doing good. Look, that whole camp is doing good, bro. But individually, how is it looking? And that's how the Lord is gonna look at us. It's not through a camp. It's not through as a nation, bro. It's individually we're gonna get rewarded, each man to his own work, right? If you could read that for the sister right there.
There's the book of Psalms, chapter 141 and verse 5. Let the righteous smite me. It shall be a kindness, and let him reprove me. It shall be an excellent oil, which shall not break my head.
See, and sister, you said you pulled in late, and I pulled this precept earlier. And what the funny part is, you posted this a couple weeks ago, and I was like, bro, this is a great precept. The sister be dropping gems on Facebook, man. So once the branches have budded and dried off, right, you prune it so that the next season, those same flowers it had before grow even bigger and look better, right? More splendid, right? For example, roses, in order to have big beautiful rose bush, You cut the flowers at a part of the stem where it either has 5 leaves or 7 leaves, right? Why? Because that's the firmest part of the stem. You cut it where the health of the stem isn't affected. Instead, it perfects it, right? You will have a great looking flower, no matter how many buds pop off after that cut. The rose bush is able to handle the weight that those fruits, that flower is going to bring in, because it was cut at a part where it's like, okay, you have the foundation here. Let's start here. This is where you're going to grow from here. Instead, if you cut it at a weak part, if you start somewhere where a person is weak at, it can't grow anything. And if it does grow anything, it's going to weigh it down, right? So John 15:3.
It's the book of John, chapter 15 and verse 3. Now ye are clean through the word which I have spoken unto you.
And shalom to the brothers at the Malachium. Shalom, kings.
Beloveds.
Beloveds. Read it one more time. Verse 3.
Verse 3. Now ye are clean through the word which I have spoken unto you.
Right. So Christ purged away that old leaven, right? Thinking just surface level, right? I'm an Israelite and that's it, right? Wearing these fringes is going to do anything for you. That's the traditions, right? Or adding on top of it, it's traditions of men that you think are gonna please the Most High. But he molded us in a fashion that pleases the Lord, right? Christ did, because it's intent behind it, right? That's something that the law couldn't give us. That's something that Christ introduced to us that made us see things a different way, right? Verse 4. Oh, go ahead.
This is the book of John, chapter 17 and verse 17. Sanctify them through thy truth. Thy word is the truth.
Word is the truth, right? And see, and that's and even then, though, that's a base, right? That's the foundation. That's where it should start at, but it shouldn't be everything from there, right? You should be able to grow from there, and that's why John is able to look at these Pharisees and understand, bro, they're not coming with the right spirit, even though they were doing everything that the law told them to do, right? Verse 4.
Verse 4. Abide in me and in you, as the branch cannot bear fruit of itself, except it abide in the vine. No more can ye, except ye abide in me.
Right. So you cut off a branch from a tree. It's impossible for that branch to produce a fruit, which is why it was such a big sign for Israel when Aaron's staff budded almonds, right? Because it's not something normal. It's not something that you see, right? And the only way you can produce spiritual fruits is if you're moving based on the influence, right? Based on the spirit that Christ left us, wanting brothers and sisters to move in a spiritual way rather than, well, I didn't break the law, so I'm good, right? No, look at what you're doing and ask yourself, do you really think God would be pleased with what you're doing right now, right? It's not just black and white. That's why there's a term that we bring up. It's the gray area. Stop marinating in the gray area. The Bible calls that lukewarm, right? And what did Christ say? I'm going to spew you out of my mouth for being lukewarm. So verse 5.
Verse 5 in John chapter 15. I am the vine, and ye are the branches.
Mm-hmm.
He that abideth in me, and I in him, the same bringeth forth much fruit. For without me, ye can do nothing.
Right. If you're united to Christ, you will act like him, like how the brother Gabar was bringing up, right? You will act like him. You will be like him in all manners, right? Christ even said we're going to do greater works than him. The question isn't, why haven't you? Right? Because you're missing the whole point of the book, the spirit aspect of it. This walk isn't just about coming up with doctrines to cut other people. This walk is about scrutinizing yourself and cutting yourself, right? Cutting your horrible habits the world instilled in you so you can serve God better and in turn be a better example to others, right? You got to prune yourselves, right? Let me see. Khan, sister.
I'm gonna make that so quick. Said right there.
All praises, man. Verse 6. You had something?
Well, I had some. It was a precept I was looking for a minute ago, but it was tying into.
Just speak up a little. Yeah.
Chastising.
Uh-huh.
To like to the tree, right?
Mhm.
So this is Hebrews 12:11. Now no chastening for the present seemeth to be joyous, but grievous. Nevertheless, afterward it yieldeth the peaceable fruit of righteousness unto them which are exercised thereby.
Yeah, exactly. And see, and it's all in the perspective. Like, for example, you have a kid, like, because that's what the whole chapter is going into, us, like being kids and the Lord chastising us, right? You can have a kid. We all have friends, right? Might have even been you guys, might have even been me, right? Where your parents whip you, and instead of you being like, all right, I'm gonna get it together, you're like, bro, I don't even care even more now. They have people like that in Israel, right? Like a brother we were talking to yesterday, right? Being chastised by the Lord, and he's like, well, the Lord did all this to me, so I don't believe in him no more. It can be either, it can go both ways, right? And hopefully we're just of the people that are able to understand a spiritual butt whooping, man, and what it's trying to do for you. Yeah, verse 6.
Verse 6. If a man abide not in me, he is cast forth as a branch and is withered, and men gather them and cast them into the fire, and they are burned.
Right. So brothers who are focused on the flesh, right? Brothers who are focused about views, likes, the base things of this walk will never produce fruit. You see the branch, but when you touch it, you analyze it, and you realize that it's a hollow branch just ready to snap off. And eventually it will get to the trunk of the tree and dry off the whole tree. It starts with one branch, right? With one lifestyle choice that slowly infects the rest of the tree, right? So one little aspect of your life that you do not handle can branch off into the rest of the tree and affect the whole tree and infect it. So now the whole tree is done because of that one choice that you decided to do, right? And didn't decide to prune it, didn't decide to cut it, right? Verse 7.
The book of John, chapter 15 and verse 7.
Yes, sir.
If ye abide in me, and my words abide in you, ye shall ask what ye will, and it shall be done unto you. I'll read it again. Book of John, chapter 15 and verse 7. If ye abide in me, and my words abide in you, ye shall ask what ye will, and it shall be done unto you.
Get the next verse.
Verse 8. Herein is my Father glorified, that ye bear much fruit, so shall ye be my disciples.
Right, and this is how you show you are truly his children, right? How you show that you are truly with him, that you resemble him, right? The branch is a shoot off of the trunk, of the roots, right? If your foundation is solid, everything else is going to be able to show through there, right? If the foundation, if the base of it, you had something?
Yes,
Here, just give me 1 second. Let me just finish the point, right? So if the foundation of it is good, the branches are going to be good. The fruit is going to be a resemblance of what that foundation is. But if your foundation is just, well, I'm an Israelite, I'm better than you, and you guys are all going to be slaves, right? What fruit are you going to bring? You're not bringing the Spirit of God from there, right? The Spirit of God is, you're supposed to be healing all people. You should be so upset that this whole world is such a mess that, bro, we need to get up there, right? We need to show everybody how it's done. That's the difference. That's the spiritual side of this whole book compared to just the fleshly want of it, right? And that's where I'm saying that we need to check and prune on that. Go ahead, Manya.
To check that spirit and to like the tree, pruning it as well. I had in the G&T I had Sirach 32:14 through 16, and it reads. It says, if you fear the Lord, you will accept his correction. He will bless those who get up early in the morning to pray. It says, study his law and you will master it. It says, unless you are insincere about it, if you're insincere about it, in which case you will fail. If you fear the Lord, you will know what is right, and you will be famous for the fairness. So if you're keeping the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High God, if you fear him, and as he's chastising you for the fact that he is favorable to his chosen people, which are the Israelites, then you will see the pruning that he's trying to build and mold you up into.
Yeah.
That person as you are to show the works that he set forth for us.
Right. And another thing is, like how you just reminded me of is being okay with the cutting, being okay with the pruning, the things that he removes out of your life in order for you to grow. That's the hard part. People hate being uncomfortable. What do you say?
Lost.
Yeah, feeling lost. Go ahead, expand on that because I'm not.
No, I'm saying people hate to feel like they're losing something.
Oh, okay, yeah.
You know what I mean, like they get attached to the things of this world, whether it be people or items, and you know the Most High will remove people out of your life, and you know. He may be doing it for a positive sense, but you're so attached to that person, you don't see that he's actually removing that person to make you better.
Right. And see, and the Lord could just be like, well, look, like the spiritual lens, like right there, like John having and being like, okay, well, yeah, these people don't belong here. I'm gonna cut it out of the way. The Lord could be doing that slowly for you, but then when you don't realize it, you just snatch it off of you.
Right.
And then it hits harder. Then it's something that you can't hold on. And then it's like, bro, the Lord is so hard. The Lord's been trying to show you this whole time, bro.
Yeah, that and it reads even colder in KJV. In Ecclesiastes in Sirach 32:15, it says, "He seeketh the law shall be filled therewith, but the hypocrite will be offended thereat." Like he'll feel offended that you might know more than him, and it might feel that way to that person because you're keeping the laws of God to where the laws are on your mind, but it's not on his. To be doing so wise.
Con.
I had something to go along with that I was taught, right? It's and it was told never hang on to something so tight that the Lord has to break your hand to get it.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
That's a man.
Like right there, like for my daughter, when my daughter was young, right, we were talking with my wife's family, and they had said something along the lines of, well, don't hold your daughter too close to you, because the harder you hold her to you, the more she's gonna push away from you. And it's that same kind of aspect of you're trying to, this is so precious to me, but at the same time, that thing, you don't know like how the brother Barnyard was saying all week, the perspective of it, right? You want to make sure that you understand that you're not doing too much in that same way, or holding something too close to where you're not giving it the room to breathe, to grow. Go ahead.
Those are both good analogies right there. Right, I got another one basically doing the same thing, right? There's like people that's be like, they're trying to hold on to something so long, like they gotta like a rope wrapped around their hand, trying to hold on like something heavy, and then the whole time, the more you're trying to hold and pull it closer to you, like you're just like messing your hand up. It's like all messed up now.
Seeing the whole time, God is like, bro, get it off of you.
The brother had a precept though. Is going along with that. Right, this is Revelation chapter 18, verse 14. And the fruits that thy soul lusted after are departed from thee, and all things which were dainty and goodly are departed from thee, and thou shalt find them no more at all.
That's a good point, right? See, the things that, and you got to be wanting the right type of fruit, like how the brother was saying, or how we were bringing up earlier, the Garden of Eden had very different diverse amounts of trees, and God said, like, you can have anything you want here, just not that one, right? Don't touch that one, right? There's different types of fruits. Not everything that you're able to eat is good for you, right? And not everything that you're able to eat is going to be beneficial for you in the walk that you're trying to be doing. Matthew 5:16 is where we were at.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 5 and verse 16. Let your light so shine before men that they may see your good works and glorify your Father which is in heaven.
Right, so you doing this work is you trying to shine. You trying to show others, look, this is how it's done. I was able to do it, so can you, right? It's not you hiding behind another man. It's you stepping forward to show God, look, this is what I'm doing. This is what you asked of me, and here it is. Here's the proof. Here's the fruits that you told me I needed to bring, right? Bring forth the fruits meet for repentance. This is what you asked of me. Here it goes. Right? It's not just simply, well, I planted a tree and that's all you wanted. No, the tree has to yield something, right? And let's finish it off with this, with Luke 6:46.
It's the book of Luke, chapter 6 and verse 46. And he say, and why call ye me Lord, Lord, and do not the things which I say?
Get verse 49.
Verse 49. But he that heareth and doeth not is like a man that without a foundation build an house upon the earth, against which the stream did beat vehemently, and immediately it fell, and the ruin of that house was great.
Right, so you've been warned plenty of times over and over by Christ, right? You've been shown the way you should be going. Now it's up to you to follow it and put it into play, right? And shout out this the brother Papa right there in Vegas. He put out this post a few days ago that I thought was powerful, right? It says a storm could show what's solid, but it could also show what's weak, right? If a storm passes through and whatever is left standing on there, you're like, bro, look, whoever did that house did a great job. Nothing happened to it. But it could also show who was faking in it. How the brother Banya brought up, the hypocrite. It could show off the bad tree, the one that's just a little twig on there. You want to be a good solid tree with roots running down into the streams of water, how it says, right? And we understand that water is this word that should be your foundation on there. and ultimately the word is what? Christ, right? So I hope you guys enjoyed the lesson, man. You had something?
Yeah, I wanted to ask. So to summarize everything, for somebody who wants to take care of their tree and prune was bad, what can they do for the next steps to start cleaning their tree and to produce good fruits? I was gonna make a point. It was about the Pharisees, right? And Christ said in Matthew 5:19, he said, if you don't exceed the Pharisees, then you won't enter into the kingdom of heaven.
Mm-hmm.
They kept the laws, and they did it in vain. That they started going off the law and making their own laws,
Right.
but they had no spirituality in them. So for those who are keeping the laws and just keeping them because I just have to keep them, you're most likely going to create your own laws, and you're most likely going to keep them in vain, and you're not going to have the fruits of the spirit.
Just like the Jews of antiquity.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's what the Pharisees lacked, is that spirituality. So I feel like I was telling my cousin, I was like, the one thing you could start off by is reminding yourself in every situation you have to make a decision to be meek. And I drew out something for him, but to be meek, you have to have the fruits of the spirit, and you have to obey God. Because if you don't obey God, He won't lead you to meekness. And if you obey God, right, and you're not meek, then He's gonna just let you go. And so I just wanted to ask, like, what is something that you could tell the viewers so they can prune their tree?
That's a great question.
I got
So,
you.
yeah, go ahead.
So I'm gonna give a scripture, and then I'm also gonna give a real world analogy to pruning trees, right? Because when you're pruning trees, it's really an expertise in pruning trees. Because if you do something wrong, you can kill the tree. If you prune the tree out of season, if you prune too much, you can kill the tree, right? But this is 2 Corinthians 13:5. It says, "Examine yourselves whether ye be in the faith. Prove your own selves. Know ye not your own selves how that Yahweh Shai Hamashiach is in you, except ye be reprobates," right? So if you're keeping the laws, right, just because you have to, and you're not going to be living really in the spirit of the law. And that's what was going wrong with a lot of the Pharisees, right? So like in the analogy of pruning trees, a lot of trees, when you prune them, they're seasonal, right? So like, just like a rule of thumb, you can't prune off more than 25% of a tree each year.
I was gonna make that point too. That's
Right.
powerful. Yeah.
Or you'll kill it, right? And so that kind of goes with us, right? You're working on yourself every year to prune yourself and refine yourself each year, every day, right?
Yeah.
Every day, really. But if you put a heavy burden on somebody and give them so much to do, right, it can hurt them and affect them even more, to where they'll be defeated mentally. In an analogy with the tree, if you take off too much too fast, you can hurt the tree and kill the tree.
What would be those things that they have to take off?
The dead branches.
What would be the dead branches within themselves?
The dead branches within themselves would be the ways of the world that they're holding on to, right? The things that they're carrying, the cares of the world that they're carrying.
I would say it would be in an individual basis in everybody's life.
Right.
They would have individually have different branches they would have to cut off. You would have to examine each person individually.
That's why that's like we can only provide the blueprint, but you actually have to build it.
Yeah.
So like how you said everything's different. What I was gonna get at is like something to reference to is Galatians 5:22. It lists the fruits of the spirit.
My brother just posted that through the spirit.
Oh, there you go. So I feel like that's a reference point to cut those dead branches, because you can't do 5 years work in one day.
Yeah,
Because like you say, you're gonna hurt the tree. It needs to heal, and you need to figure out what's wrong with it.
You gotta use gentleness,
Use gentleness. Be gentle.
so
Have humility. Be patient.
self-control.
Self-control. So when somebody who tests your patience does something to you, remind yourself, I gotta be meek. Why? Because that's where you can cut those dead branches off. Because a worldly, you would spaz out, cuss at them. You know what I'm saying? You gotta be an example. So
Yeah.
I feel like that's great.
It's such a powerful thing to be even like put it together with people, because like, for example, like the car and I, right, we work with trees there's little branches, right? They call them suckers as well too, right? Like the little things, you can cut those off whenever. Boom, it don't even matter. These little how could you say it? Like little habits that people will have, you could just cut that. Boom. That's taking your energy. All right, cut that out of here. Cut this out of here. But the ones that, like how we said, the ones that do affect the whole tree and as a whole, like we said, you're only supposed to cut at least 25-30% of a tree, otherwise you can kill it. You got to cut off the main branches that are gonna cause trouble. This one, if it falls, is gonna fall on the house and it's gonna break everything. So we got to cut this tree off. Boom. This branch, this is the focus. Focus on this first. And that's the one of the questions, how you were saying, what can you give, brothers? Right? I would say even the people who are coming into this, if you're coming fresh into this, the location of where you plant the tree is first and foremost so important to that tree. You can't plant a tree that's meant to be in the sun and the shade, and you can't plant a tree that's in the shade, that's meant to be in the shade in the sun, vice versa, whatever, right? Might have said that backwards, but the location matters, right? Yeah, everything goes into effect on there, but that's the principal part of it, the location, right? Where you're at, who are you learning from, what are you learning from, right? But self-analyzing, how you were saying, like the branches, like that person is supposed to be able to understand this is what's messing up. This is a dead branch. That's what I was saying from the very beginning. Self-reflection and self-examining is everything.
Alfred G. Could you put up the Galatians 5:22 again?
Yeah, hold on one sec. The sister had a the water corner walk. All praises, man. Sister Lila said, "Is pride related to fear? Just curious." I mean, it depends. I mean, it could be. You can be somebody that's like you're actually scared, but you want to be out there and seem like you're a man or something like that. So I think it really depends. But how the brother said,
it could be like projection.
Yeah, there you go, projection.
Fear of losing your ego.
Yeah. So Quanawath 5:22. And this was you said Alpha G. Can you define each quality or fruit? Right there.
Yeah, exactly. So Alfred G, can you define each quality of fruit, because love can be different than the world shows love, right? Yeah, absolutely. So I'll say that these right here are the qualities of the different fruit, right? So you would have different fruits. One fruit would be like showing love, joy, peace, right? Forbearance, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, lakia, gentleness, self-control. These are all different types of fruit that we should be bearing spiritually, right? And the reason it's called fruit is because it's something to show for that you're actually growing and producing something, right? So that's the qualities of each fruit, right? Could you go down on the comments a little bit?
I think that's it. Oh, there you go.
And because love can be different than the world shows love, right? Yeah, exactly. The world shows love in its own ways, right? But we know what love is according to the Bible. You know, First John chapter 5 verse 3, 2 and 3. Right? We know that we love God and we know that we love our people. How? By keeping the commandments, right? I'm not gonna say I love my brother, but every time I go to his house, I steal something from his house, or right, or steal, lie, break the laws towards him, right? If I'm keeping the laws and I'm not doing these things, right, and I'm showing him love, that's me showing my fruit, right? So to answer your question, yes, it's different from what the world shows love, right? The world, my homeboy in the world would go rob another Hispanic, right, and try to give me a piece of jewelry he took from him, right? That to me, that's wicked, that's evil. But in the worldly aspect, that's him trying to show me love, right? It's different types of love, man. All right.
Like how the brother brought up right here. Shout out again to Malachi, man. If you guys haven't followed these brothers, follow them brothers, man. Kind of even growing in gird, letting go of softness, cutting, coddling. And that's like I feel like I kind of get what you're going into, brother. Like, for example, like how sometimes it could be like, okay, well, this is a tree that I have on here, but it's such a precious, I don't want to do anything to it. I don't want to do nothing. I might hurt it, bro. The tree needs it, right? The tree needs it. At the end of the day, if you don't do nothing to that tree, you could probably kill it by letting it overgrow and become a tree that just doesn't produce nothing.
You gotta maintain it.
Yeah, maintain your tree, man.
Well, the thing is too, right? Like, I mean, pruning trees is very fun, right? Because, like the brother said, like every tree is not the same. And I love my job, man, because I get free fruit every year, right, from all these trees. But people don't understand how important it is to prune their trees. They just grow them in their backyard, right? They get 30, 40 feet in the air. You have all these upshoot branches when the trees are supposed to actually canopy. Like apple trees are different from citrus trees. Fig trees are different from both of the other trees. So there is a difference in how you prune them and how you cultivate your plants. And that's the same thing with, you know, everybody on the street. The way you cultivate somebody when you're teaching them, you can't address everybody with the same cut and dry thing, right? The same cut and dry manner. Exactly, right? And then you got to clean your blades, right? Because you might be cutting some fungus off of one tree, and then you go and use your blades to cut another tree, and now you infect the other tree with the fungus from the previous tree.
Yeah.
It's a lot to learn, but it's great.
I remember you were telling me that when I gave you oranges at that tree where I live.
Yeah, it's tall.
Like, bro, you gotta cut that off the freaking tree all the way off.
Yeah, it's huge because nobody prunes it, but the fruit is really good though. You know what I mean? But it's just overgrown. The inside canopy, there's no light getting on the inside of the tree. You know what I'm saying? So it might have too much. It might have too much fruit on it to where the branch snaps. Right? You know what I mean? I've seen clients have that.
Like in the same way how you were just saying, like right now, like for example, like how the brother said love is correcting. We all had to gird up because our people don't take correction well. Yeah, but at the same time, it's also how you deliver it. Because, for example, I could have like a little geranium plant, right? Super brittle, super soft. If you put too much water, you're gonna kill it. I can come with a little water pail and water it, and it's gonna be fine. But if I come through with a hose and I'm just spraying it down, bro, I'm gonna bend it over. I'm gonna kill it, right? It really depends. Everything. The Lord is we're an agricultural people, and the things that we bring into this has to be looked at in that manner. Like how I was saying earlier, the trees that we present isn't just right. I'm gonna plant this seed, and here God, here's the tree. Your tree has to produce something. You have something to show to the Most High God. It's not just here's the plant. Well, what happened to it? What'd you do to it?
You didn't water it. Right? You didn't fertilize it and feed it. You know what I mean? Everything, even the fruit trees. You know what I'm saying? You gotta feed the fruit trees. People think you just plant a tree and it just grows, and no, it's a lot of work that goes into. There's a lot of attention to detail that goes into having a healthy tree. Cutting out the cross branches because the branches rub up against each other, and now you have an infection coming in your tree. Right?
Yeah, like how the sister right here said, I know, right? I have many things yet to say unto you. I want to say so many things onto you, but you cannot bear them right now, bro. You're not gonna be able to handle what I got to tell you right now. So just you got it, brother.
Oh, you know what I want to mention? I was telling Shalal this, and I think it's very important. You can keep the laws, you can have the fruit of the spirit, but you need to pray. Why?
Oh yeah.
Because if you think you're doing all these things, you think that the Most High is dealing with you, and you're not communicating with Him, so you won't be able to discern whether or not you're actually doing what the Most High wants you to do. And when you pray, sometimes it almost feels like it still steers you the right way. Like you could kind of see, like, oh no, this is not what I was seeking. This is not right for me. Like, you know, a lot of people might take things and forget the Lord and be like, these are my actions. Yeah, this is my work. I tried. This. No, you didn't. You gotta understand that the Most High is your pillar, and without that pillar, that house is gonna fall. So always resort to the Most High and thank Him for the guidance, for getting you to realize, for cleaning your glasses, you're able to see better. And so, like, there's just a lot of things to growing in. Is to pray, be patient, keep the fruits of the Spirit, keep the laws, and ultimately love doing what you're doing, not just because you have to do it. And that's all goes into the intention of what it is you have to do. And like a lot of these prophets suffered, but they loved and they enjoyed what they did, and they believed that what they were doing was right. And so it's like so much to break down, but to summarize, like, you gotta be meek, keep the fruits of the Spirit, pray, be patient, and love what we do.
3 C's.
Huh?
It's the 3 C's.
The 3 C's. All right, so the 3 C's to being meek, man, in any situation, especially with friends and family and your wife, your husband, is to communicate. Make sure that what you're saying is thorough and clear. Don't speak too many words. Get to the point. Right, I'm working on that. He said right. And then collaboration, right? Both parties got to come to a conclusion, so you're able to move on. Rather than compromising, you got to sacrifice something on each side to come to meet in the middle. That's not what we want. So communicate, collaborate, and most importantly, be considerate. Consider that you don't know everything. If someone's telling you something, yeah, in the moment you might not be able to correct yourself, but after that conversation, remind yourself, dang, that brother said I'm doing X, Y, and Z. My mom, my husband, my wife said I'm doing X, Y, and Z. Am I really doing that? Let me look at it. Be considerate that you don't know everything, and also consider someone's, viewpoint. So that's a process that helps me to try to be more me. Is the 3 C's: communicate, collaborate, and be considerate.
So one thing too, like I was saying with the brothers about praying is a big thing, and it gets overlooked a lot in the community, right? I brought this up before. Brother Gazah checked every single one of us when we were at one of the tabernacles and said, "Look, bro, when I was a Christian, I used to pray so much. Now I'm an Israelite, and no one talks about praying, right?"
Yeah.
So it was okay. The brother checked me on that. That was 2 years ago. The brother put that fire in my spirit where every single night I pray with my wife, right? And that's something that like how the brother was saying, the scripture says you're supposed to pray all day, right? Obviously you're at work, you're in your own thoughts, but making it a habit to act. We had our ancestors in this book literally got down on their face and prayed. What makes you so special? Right?
Who are you?
Who are you, bro?
Who are you to pray once a year, man?
Yeah, you gotta be able to touch bases with the Lord, man. Right? Just make sure that allow him to keep you on track to make sure you're not trying to follow your own path and your own understanding. Right? Touch bases, you know what I'm saying? Stay on track, keep doing what you're supposed to be doing, bro. It's easy just to not to pray and start that's what happens, bro. When you might not pray one day, now you're not reading, it starts to slowly turn into something bigger, man. And then before you know it, you gonna fall and you're gonna be like, how'd I get here, man? Right?
Even Yahushua prayed every morning. He prayed. What was it? It was where he woke up before the sun came up to pray, and when they walked up to him, they seen him praying. Like even Yahushua prayed. Daniel prayed 3 times a day, right? And even got thrown into the lion's den for praying, even though it said don't pray, don't ask your God of anything. And it's like, man, praying is, and it's Book of Proverbs says, lean not to your own understanding, right? We got to get the Most High's understanding. To be able to do that, we got to communicate with him. So.
One of the sisters says, Gabar the Resolver. There you go.
100 sign.
And get your precept, Yatazak.
Resolver.
He said the revolver.
The revolver.
We like the revolver.
Yeah, that man's a big stooge, man.
You got it, Yatazak? I can read it.
Yeah, just make sure that.
It's 1 Thessalonians 5:17. Pray without ceasing. Right? Yeah. Yeah, man.
Somebody has a question in the chat.
I mean, if you could post a question, brother.
Yeah, the tray two?
It's tray two.
Tray two. Go ahead and post a question.
Keeps the flock fed, all praises.
That's your question, Mr. Tube. Peace and blessings also.
Go ahead, brother.
This is Luke 1:18.
Mhm.
Then Jesus told them a parable about their need to pray at all times and not lose heart.
All right, pray at all times, man.
Yeah, man.
That's it.
Yep. Well, brother, I don't know where you went, what happened, but we're gonna be in SAC in a couple hours. Lord willing, our phones is good. Like as you see, the internet's been tripping. Sometimes it's been tripping at that camp spot we in. But I promise the fruit is good. It probably don't look too good on the internet, but I promise you the things that we're talking about they're gonna be beneficial for you to pay attention to. Right.
Bananas brown is just sweeter.
With the
Bring that up,
I'm
Lord.
gonna give the brother a couple more minutes, man. Yeah,
All right, so peace and blessings, though,
hold on, I
family.
just muted it. for a bit.
He asked if we're in the Bay Area.
Oh, there you go.
He just asked if we're in the Bay Area.
Yeah, so we're located out the Bay Area. We do got a Sacramento sec. You know what I'm saying? We will be in Sacramento today, but you know, we be in the Bay Area all over. But tap in with us. Thank you, family, for tuning into this class. We appreciate y'all. You know what I'm saying? May the Most High bless you, right? Keep you. May you have a good day today, right? If you haven't shared this video, like, subscribe, you know, and tune in to us later, Lord willing, in a couple hours. We will be a few hours. We'll be back live again on the street, doing camp. You know, so tune in for that. Anything else?
That's it. You want to make sure that you can hear it because we're testing this thing out. I don't know if that's the actual mute thing. You're good? Okay, cool.
Okay, cool.
All praises, man. All right, so Lord willing, y'all got edified, man, and received some of this water to feed your guys' trees, and go be prosperous, man. Go be great.
And lock in.
Right.
Shalom, family.
Shalom.
Behold, I will send my messenger, and he shall prepare the way before me. And the Lord, whom you seek, shall suddenly come to his temple, even the messenger of the covenant, whom you delight in. Behold, he shall come, says the Lord of hosts. But who may abide the day of his coming? And who shall stand when he appeareth? For he is like a refiner's fire, and like fuller's soap. And he shall sit as a refiner and purifier of silver. And he shall purify the sons of Levi, and purge them as gold and silver, that they may offer unto the Lord an offering in righteousness.